It's all about incentives. Anytime people are acting in weird ways, I always tell people like to look at the incentives. Like if you see a child screaming in a store and you're like, God, what an annoying, stupid child. But then like the mom gives him the candy bar, or the dad gives him the candy bar. It's like, well, no, the child's smart. He's doing exactly what he needs to. And I was telling people, like, some people were asking, what do you think is the worst thing that could happen for a Trump presidency? And I said, there's a world where unless he does something extremely insane or unhinged, which, by the way, he absolutely still could, there's still a possibility of that happening, one of the worst things is just validating everything that's happened so far.
Destiny and Brian Tyler Cohen have a complete meltdown together over the rise of right-wing media in this clip, as Destiny and Brian Tyler Cohen cannot cope with the fall of legacy media spitting their woke lies anymore, while right-wing media is taking over, at least to Destiny and Brian Tyler Cohen, because both of them attacked Donald Trump, Republicans, media, and even independents in this video, as these woke idiots continue to throw tantrums. So let's get in this video of Destiny and Brian Tyler Cohen melting down over the right's winning.
There has been. All those things that didn't matter are going to become the most important figures. And remember when they're saying things like, well, prices aren't falling? Remember when you thought Republicans didn't understand what year-over-year inflation meant? And all of them are going to understand it magically. At the end of Trump's 4 years, when prices haven't gone down and they've even increased, all of them are going to become fucking economic statisticians. Well, they'll be like, why would you expect a reduction in the cost of goods? Like the CPI never actually reduces like that. Like it's impossible to bring down unless you engage in deflationary spiral. Like all of a sudden they'll know it all. Like where the f was this 4 years ago?
Well, you've already seen that there are charts that chart out consumer sentiment, and already the Republicans, since the day Trump won, have like spiked in terms of how they view consumer sentiment now that Trump has won. So nothing has changed with the economy between today and 10 days ago or 20 days ago, but consumer sentiment among Republicans has spiked now because now that Trump's in office, all of a sudden they're warming up to the economy that he's about to inherit.
Well, remember before, was it a year ago that people were saying that the Biden crash of the economy that was going to destroy it, but then obviously the market rebounded.
It was like 24 hours long.
Yeah, and then when the market rebounded and went up, remember it was because what did Donald Trump say? The stock market recovered because they think that I'm going to win the next election.
In anticipation of his victory. Any day where he decided he had a good enough poll, then any increase in the stock market was completely his credited to him, and then any day where it went down was just Joe Biden, Kamala Harris's fault.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. It's the media environment is just crazy. Like, there needs to be more accountability for these guys. The whole, like, weren't you better off?
There won't be because, like, again, to the point I just made, now they have every incentive to double down on the lies because they know they are so insulated in the right-wing media bubble and nothing gets through that they can like take this position that Kamala Harris had in 2019 that she has since disavowed, to the dismay, by the way, of even far left or progressive outlets. I know that The Nation wrote an article about her where they were lamenting the fact that she didn't hold this position anymore about trans inmates getting gender reassignment surgeries, but now there's no incentive to do that because they've seen that they could just pick some position, throw a ton of money behind it, and there's no way for anybody to find out otherwise. Like there really isn't. I mean, that's what they did in this. They made out of whole cloth a position that they said she predicated her campaign on. And everybody believed it. It was like one of the most effective campaigns in this cycle, the one where she made those comments. And so I don't know how we move forward from this and these people like have any scruples about what they're saying because there's no incentive to do that on the right anymore.
Yeah. The mental gymnastics that Brian Tyler Cohen and Destiny pull off in order to make everything fit their little narrative is just absolutely astounding. Yes, markets respond well to, the things that Donald Trump has said, and now that he's done already, because he actually knows something about business, whereas Biden and Kamala Harris know literally nothing. And yes, you could go back and use all of Kamala Harris's previous positions against her because it's recorded. It's just fascinating how far these two will go to spin everything. And now Brian Tyler Cohen wants to basically project that echo chamber that they have been in for years now on to the right. Now that, there's X and there's independent media and there's all sorts of people now who are investigating truths and actually gathering up facts instead of, what CNN and MSNBC did, which is where they got largely a lot of their news. It's like the problem with being in the woke bubble, like these two, Destiny and Brian Tyler Cohen, is they don't understand. Like, you have to go back and wonder, is what I heard 4 years ago and 6 years ago and 8 years ago, if the legacy media is found to be lying now, I have to question what I knew then, and then therefore change my worldview to adapt to the new truth, assuming that they are in fact wrong, but they still believe the lies, and that's why they won't change their worldview, and they just simply cannot handle the victories that are coming with Donald Trump and the election of, the rise of the new right wing, I guess, in their view. Let me know how you feel in the comments and leave a like. It helps the algorithm. Let's get back in.
It's all about incentives. Anytime people are acting in weird ways, I always tell people to look at the incentives. Like if you see a child screaming in a store and you're like, God, what an annoying, stupid child. But then the mom gives them the candy bar or the dad gives them the candy bar. It's like, well, no, the child's smart. He's doing exactly what he needs to. And I was telling people because some people were asking, what do you think is the worst thing that could happen for a Trump presidency? And I said, there's a world where unless he does something extremely insane or unhinged, which, by the way, he absolutely still could, there's still a possibility of that happening. One of the worst things is just validating everything that's happened so far, right? That the whole, and even depending on how deep you want to go, it's just so, everything relating to that January 6th case, Thomas, schizophrenically writing random shit in the immunity opinion so that Judge Cannon can throw that case out for long enough to Trump become president. So so he never has to face any of those charges. All of this behavior, every single thing became A-okay because they won. Why wouldn't you engage in this behavior again? You'd be stupid not to, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So the problem that you brought up before too is that in building up the left ecosystem is that I feel like you get your cred on the right by showing how closely aligned with the God King, with Donald Trump you can be. And then on the left, you get your cred by showing how disaligned with the Democrats you can be. You can say, I get my bona fides in showing how hard against the Democratic Party I can push. And so you have a Republican Party against the Democrats. You have a right-wing media ecosystem against the Democrats. You have a left-wing media ecosystem that's against the Democrats. And so it's no wonder that where people are actually getting their news, there's nobody advocating for the very party, that's actually trying to push forward any progressive, agenda item.
It is completely and utterly fucked. Like people would laugh at me when I go on shows and they're like, "Who are you voting for?" Whatever. Because I'm probably one of the only left-leaning people on the internet who is like, I am voting for Kamala or Biden 100%. It's not even close. Even the people that are willing to say it are like, I know they have a lot of problems and I don't support the double genocide, but I think you have to vote for Kamala. It's like, bro, Jesus Christ. It's like being at a fucking wedding and the guy's like, do you take her to be your lawfully wedded wife? And you're like, I guess. It's like, Jesus Christ, where's the enthusiasm, right? Meanwhile, on the right, these centrists are more for Trump than people that are supposed to be, ostensibly supportive of the Democratic Party, purportedly, but not actually. But barely even supportive of the candidate. It's crazy. Crazy.
Folks, let me know in the comments what you think, but if you listen very closely, you can listen to people actually tell on themselves. If you heard Brian Tyler Cohen, he said there's no longer any media pushing forward, progressive outlets and stuff like that, right? He just admitted there's no more legacy media pushing our ideas, our this, our that. That's not what media is supposed to be, though. That's not what news is supposed to be. Now, if you want to make the same argument about Fox, that's fine. That's fine. But he just admitted that's what media really was. It was pushing our narrative and our ideas, but it was not giving us facts. It was not giving us just straight news. These two just cannot handle the new ecosystem. And both of these guys, Destiny and Brian Tyler Cohen, they want to project the new right-wing media is the God King. Really, I don't look at Donald Trump as a God King. He's my president, but he's not a God King. But after going through everything he had to go through to win, it's hard not to support him in my opinion. But it's on the right that you have this new ecosystem where you have different ideas and you have people talking about everything. That's why the independents and the centrists moved to the right, because they started seeing how effing crazy the left was. All this woke trans, all this, no, we're good. We'll have rational thought and decorum to some degree and open speech on the right. Yes, we will go over there. These idiots tell on themselves exactly the problem with their own side, and they just don't want to get it. But let me know in the comments what you think. Am I right, wrong? And also let me know what you thought about what Destiny and Brian Tyler Cohen had to say in this meltdown about Donald Trump winning and the rise of the right-wing media. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Take care, and I'll see you folks on the next one.